we're here to make a new type of news.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Making news just for you. It's March 21st here in Seoul. I'm Shin Yeun, and this is News Generation, where we make the news at Arirang's very own open studio. Every morning, we'll discuss the top issues and latest current affairs affecting people in their 20s and 30s. Joining me in the studio is Choi Ji-hee.
Good morning, Yeun.
And Park Ki-hoon.
Thank you for having me.
Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. Now, we'll first start with our news feed. Every day, we make a news feed that covers different hashtags and news items that have been trending on social media over the past 24 hours. Now, the first hashtag is Apple Pay. The long-anticipated Apple Pay service is now available in Korea. The service allows users to register their card number on their Apple devices and pay without using plastic cards. The service is only available to users of Hyundai Card, though, and following the announcement in February, debit cards issued by Hyundai Card jumped by over 7% compared to January. Now, the second hashtag is Hanbik TLV. It's South Korea's first civilian satellite launcher, which was launched from the Alcantara Space Center in northern Brazil on Monday, Korea time. Following its success, the startup that made the K-rocket, InnoSpace, became Korea's first private launch service provider. InnoSpace will play a similar role to SpaceX in the United States, which carries various space exploration devices. The last hashtag may come across as good news for people living alone here in Korea who often get their food delivered. One of South Korea's biggest food delivery companies, 배달민족, has decided to reduce delivery fees in their Baemin1 service, which originally only delivered one order at a time. Now they're going to introduce a cheap delivery service where the delivery man picks up bundles of orders on a similar route. Now this way, delivery fees will come down to around $1.5. Now I would like to hear what our panelists have to say about the third hashtag, delivery fees. Ki-hoon, what do you think about this latest measure to bring down these fees?
No, I think I'm really glad to hear this news, and it's about time they reduced the delivery fees, because
Right.
back in the day, I'm not I'm sure many Gen Zs might not know this, but there was no such thing as delivery fees a long time ago.
Really?
When I was young.
Wow, how old are you?
Exactly.
When we ordered like Chinese food, there was no delivery fee at all. But I think many people just automatically accepted, the delivery fees. But it came to a point where it increased so much that it would cost like as much as the food you ordered,
Right.
if it was under a certain price. But I think big companies like 배달민족 should create better business models to, I guess, satisfy more customers, because not only is it a good marketing strategy, but at the end of the day, it's the customers that create the revenue. So I'm all for the cut down of delivery fees.
Right, and Ji-hee, following this announcement, some 배달민족 users said they were a little worried, though, that this new cheap delivery service would bring down the quality of their food, because originally the one-order delivery service allowed them to get their food quick. It was their only food that the rider would pick up, so it wouldn't cool down. But are you aware of these concerns, and can you relate?
Well, first of all, I'm also quite happy, and I welcome this move by 배달민족. But I'm not really worried about the food quality, because the whole point of this is to allow these drivers to carry a bundle of foods
Right.
that are near each other, like in one location, right? So it doesn't really require much cost, additional cost, which is why I don't think they will have to lower the food quality. But then I am worried that I will order more foods because there will be cheaper fees.
Exactly. I'm a little worried about that myself.
Yes.
And that was our news feed for this Tuesday. Moving on, we're going to head into our main discussion now. Take a look at the screen to find out what we'll talk about today.
Some called it a real-life Squid Game. Some called it the survival of the fittest. Physical 100 has quickly become another success story, proving the strength of the K-Wave. The Netflix blockbuster brought together 100 of Korea's best athletes to compete for the title of the most impressive body. It became the first reality show in the country to become the most watched non-English language show worldwide. Apart from its excellent production designs and intriguing challenges, Physical 100 specifically targeted the interests of the younger generation. That's to stay fit. Today, NewsGen aims to answer 3 questions. 1. What do millennials and Gen Z consider to be the most ideal body shape? 2. How interested are young people in staying fit and exercising? 3. High interest may lead to obsession. How can being obsessed with trying to stay fit lead to some health risks?
Eating healthily and staying fit is definitely ideal. Now, while many aspire to get fit, it seems like the younger gen take things one step further. They'll do anything or give up on most things to achieve this. Why? Before we find out more about the new generation's inclination to stay fit, let's first find out about a show that demonstrates this trend. As we saw in the introductory video, Physical 100's popularity sort of shows the younger generation's interest in body fitness. So first, here in the studio, have you two ever watched this Netflix show? And do you guys agree that it gained popularity because the younger generation is so much about staying fit and having that perfect, ideal body?
Right. Well, first of all, I did watch this show, and I thought it was really interesting because men and women, they compete with each other without that differentiation. And yes, I do agree that this was popular among the younger audience because the younger generation, they really like exercising these days, and they have at least one sports-related hobby these days. And that's mainly because exercising is one thing that really the efforts and the outcome are positively related, meaning that if you put in effort, you can see your body change over time, and you can see it very transparently, like you said earlier. And the younger audience, I believe, are gaining vicarious satisfaction through people of all gender and all ages, and most importantly, with different weights. They're competing with each other fairly under an agreed upon set of rules and regulations, and that's why I think it has gained a lot of popularity.
Right, I definitely agree. The younger generation loves to get fair results, and you know, if you put in that effort, the results come to you.
The results, you can see the results.
You can see the results. So cute. I think you do agree that the younger generation is interested in these results, right?
Definitely. And I was a big fan of this reality hit series as well. And I think it became more popular among the younger generation because they seem to be more interested in the physical and visually attractive bodies rather than the actual health side. Whereas our older generation worried more about, not getting sick, and not just catching any illnesses. So I think, from a younger audience perspective, just seeing 100 physically fit people, regardless of age, gender, or weight, just competing and also working together for that ultimate goal, perhaps gave a sense of hope and also entertainment to the younger audience. And I'm definitely looking forward to season 2. And I might actually,
You're going to be on
sign
season
up.
2?
No, actually, I don't think I'll be fit enough, but I may try.
No, but I would like to extend talks on what you said. They hope for that type of body image, that really perfect body. Then what do you think is the most ideal body image that millennials and Gen Z, especially here in Korea, want?
Well, for men, I think those nicely toned up and muscular bodies are what the younger generation prefer. And for women, skinny, very tall physique, in which you tend to look very good in almost all kinds of clothes, just like celebrities and models are what's preferred. And these body images, what's interesting is they're often very different from what hospitals recommend.
Definitely.
And I remember seeing this chart that went viral online. It shows your healthy weight and the weight in which you look good in in clothes. And the healthy weight for a 165 centimeter woman was about 66 kilograms. In the 60s, but the weight that you look good in was about
the beautiful body image,
That was in the early 50s, like 50
wow,
to
that's
52
a huge difference.
kilograms.
That's a huge gap.
It is.
It's around like a 15 kilogram gap right there.
Exactly. There's no scientific ground to this, but people believed it and thought that was the aesthetically perfect looking kind of body.
And they would try to follow
Exactly.
suit. But Kyuhun, what are your thoughts? What do you think is the ideal body image a lot of youngsters here in Korea want?
Well, like from my experience, I think the ideal body image kind of differs from the millennials and the Gen Zs. I think the millennials, because I'm a millennial myself, we prefer the kind of athletic look, having just enough muscle mass and of course enough body fat. So you have that balanced kind of overall look. Whereas the Gen Zs lean towards like the slender, model-like kind of physique, like idols we see on TV. But like what Ji mentioned, it's important to know your ideal weight and muscle mass from a clinical point of view, not just through your eyes.
But regardless of being a millennial or Gen Z, why do you think the youngsters are so fixated on being so fit and exercising so much?
Well, I think people in general are interested in the health and staying fit. But I think the advancement in sports science, technology, and accessibility into various types of sports have enabled more youngsters to partake in, exercising and a more serious approach to staying fit. And not just that, but the pandemic also raised awareness to a lot of youngsters, not only to, care more about their hygiene, but generally staying fit to not catch the disease. And also, the term "가생."
We've mentioned it so many
times. Like trying to live like God, like a fulfilled, busy life. So it helped them to get off their couches, and hit the gym. And I think giving off that healthy kind of image helps you to create a better first impression, which in turn could, foster a better socialized life.
But everything should be done in moderation.
Right.
I think it's really important. But if people go too far in their efforts to stay fit all the time, what are some health concerns or side effects that we should be aware of?
Right. Well, I've shared my experience of taking a body profile shoot earlier in one of the episodes of the show before, right? But I didn't mention it back then, but I did have some side effects, although this experience led me to gain confidence and a sense of accomplishment. I had temporary bald spots. I don't have them anymore.
Sure?
Because I'm not sure if it's solely due to dieting or the stress level I had last year, but anyway, I had them.
And for our viewers who forget, how long did you prepare for this body shoot?
For 6 months. I tried to stay healthy as possible, not to keep a strict and restricted diet for a short period of time, because that could be unhealthy, right? So even though I tried to make it as healthy as possible with a very extended kind of period for the whole preparation, I still had these side effects. And in fact, youngsters wanting to take these body profile shoots, they tend to push themselves too hard, go on really strict diets, and keep it in a very short period of time, which will lead them to damaged muscles and even suffering from eating disorders. And I've also heard people confess that they've experienced yo-yo effects after taking their shoots because they would be binge eating all the things that they couldn't eat during the diet.
And I think there's a lot of mental side effects to mention as well. And why don't we include a psychiatrist to hear more about why the younger generation seem to be so fixated on the perfect body image? Let's now find out why why millennials and Gen Z are so into body image and trying to stay fit. We have with us connected through Skype Dr. Arirang, a U.S. and Korea certified psychiatrist affiliated to Cambridge Health Alliance. Great to have you with us, Dr. Lee.
Yeah, thank you for having me today.
All right, Dr. Lee, as a psychiatrist, please first diagnose why you think a growing number of youngsters are fixated on having the perfect body image or just trying to stay fit.
It's a great question. There can be many factors contributing to this trend among young people. I would like to list 3 today. First is social media. Social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok are the big culprits. Young people, the main users of these platforms, are bombarded with idealized, unrealistic images of beauty and fitness. And the algorithm will pick up one's implicit biases, such as spending a slightly longer time watching preferred body images and flood their feed in the future with similar images. It's because of the sheer number of exposure like this, the reality around them becomes distorted, and one's idealized body now feels banal. And young people may begin to wonder, well, there are so many people out there with this perfect body, like I must be the one who's out of fit. And these beliefs can lead to shame and low self-esteem. Second is the peer pressure. Young people may feel strongly pressured by the peers to conform to certain beauty standards. This desire to fit in socially is a part of normal adolescent development. Lastly, and third, is the mental health crises we're facing. The body image is not just one's objective looks, it's one's sense of their appearance in the body. Therefore, one's thoughts and emotions can dynamically alter their body image. And the COVID pandemic has taken a devastating toll on young people's mental health. Anxiety and depression are raging among young people here in the US and Korea as well. Anxiety and depression can distort one's perception of body to become very harsh to themselves. And also, distressed young people could latch onto a fantasy that becoming physically fit will resolve their difficult emotions entirely. Exercising and restricting food feel more tangible and straightforward than directly looking into what's causing their emotional agonies.
Right, that's really fascinating. So trying to pursue a body image is really interconnected with how you perceive yourself with a mental state. Now, Chi, do you have any questions for Dr. Lee?
Right, so this isn't a question related directly to mental health. It's a little broader than that. Well, as a health professional, Dr. Lee, how would you differentiate the aesthetically ideal body image from a healthy one?
Yeah, so aesthetically ideal body can differ from healthy body in several ways. First, aesthetically ideal body may prefer a lean or toned appearance, which is often achieved through very strict diets, food planning, and counting calories. In contrast, a healthy body requires a balanced diet and can have a wide range of body composition, like you mentioned before, including body fat, muscle mass, and bone density. Second, an aesthetic ideal body may require intense workout that may not be suitable or maintainable for everyone. However, a healthy body can benefit from a variety of exercise that promotes cardiovascular health and muscle strength and flexibility. Lastly, many will pursue an aesthetically ideal body at the cost of mental well-being, such as developing disorders, such as developing disordered eating or obsessive exercise patterns. And time at the gym could be really spent with the loved ones. For example, phentermine, a diet pill, can cause mania. Anabolic steroids using for bulking can cause aggression and psychosis. So these kind of means come up with the cost. A healthy body prioritizes mental health by reducing stress and avoiding harmful behavior.
Okay, Dr. Lee, last question. What should we keep in mind when trying to stay fit and to pursue a better body image?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd like to share 5 bullet points. First, instead of aiming for a certain body type or weight, focus on improving your overall well-being through regular exercise and sufficient sleep, balanced diet. This will help you feel better both physically and mentally. Body and mind are really dependent to each other. Second, establish goals that are specific, measurable, and achievable. When you reach the goal, enjoy your small victories. This can help you stay motivated and avoid feeling discouraged, even if you don't see immediate results. Be patient, since building a healthy body takes time and consistent effort. Third is be around friends who embrace you regardless of how you look. Avoid comparing yourself to others, especially those with unrealistic body standards. Don't compare yourself to Instagram photos, since many of them are photoshopped. Detoxing yourself from using social media can be helpful. I can attest to that. Understand that everyone's body is unique, is important. Remind yourself that the healthy fitness and inner beauty are the more important than pursuing a certain body ideal. Fourth, if you find yourself gravitating toward an unrealistic, perfect body, check if your emotional well-being is okay. This, what we call flight into health tendency, may be your mind's defense against underlying emotional conflicts. Especially if you're somebody who experienced trauma, abuse, or neglect in earlier life, I recommend talking to a mental health professional about this matter. Lastly, if you're unsure about how to pursue fitness and body image in a healthy way, consider reaching out to a fitness professional or dietitian for support and guidance.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Lee. All the points you made were so relatable, and it really fascinated me because I think I too was guilty of overworking my physical body that I overlooked my mental health. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
And as I just mentioned, Chihi, did you relate to any of the points he made?
I think many of the points were very relatable.
Right.
Yes, I mean, what he said about if you're leaning towards an idealized body type too much, you have to look into your mental health first.
Right.
And I also liked how he said enjoy your small victories regarding exercising.
I love that.
And also keep friends who would just accept you for how you look.
Right.
You know?
And the fact that he talked about a social media detox too, right? Did it fascinate you in any way too, Ki-hoon?
I'm just gonna not do SNS anymore.
No
'Cause
more
my
social
feed is
media.
overloaded with people with beautiful, perfect bodies. And also, he mentioned so many great things, but I think when he said the body and the mind are interrelated, interconnected, so I think I should look deeper into my inner beauty.
Inner beauty,
not my
you
outer
mentioned that.
appearance.
Right, inner beauty. All right. And let's now hear from our viewers what they have to say about our discussion topic. So we asked them, have you seen Physical 100 and have you ever struggled with dieting too much? So here's what they had to say. Take a look at the screen. Daniel said, I haven't seen Physical 100. The body type I admire, though, is the athletic type. I've struggled with dieting in the past. I suggest you cover how to maintain a good physical appearance and stay healthy without overworking yourself. I think that is the main theme of today. Benny said, for me, I haven't watched the show yet, and I have been struggling to diet as well. Also, I do have an admiration for those people who are on a diet and are also in good shape. Priyankar Chakraborty said, I mostly do not care what another person looks like unless they're close to me and they have health issues. As for me, I like to stay fit without overindulging in chiseled features. Now, what do you guys think about these comments, starting with Sihi?
Well, I want to mention what Daniel said about we should cover something on how to maintain a good physical appearance and stay healthy without overworking yourself. I think Dr. Lee had a lot to say about this as well, which could be very useful for what Daniel said.
And Ki-hoon?
Oh, I want to mention what Priyanka wrote. She said, looking at health issues is really important, and also staying fit is very different to looking fit.
Definitely.
Yeah, so always consult professionals. If you don't feel healthy on the inside. So
I think that's a good segue into our final thoughts. So what will you guys be doing from now on after our discussion, starting with Sihi?
Well, as I get older, I come to realize that looks aren't everything, really.
Definitely.
And staying healthy, knowing the importance of staying fit, and loving your body are all very important. But that doesn't mean you need a typical perfect body image, really, right? That would impress others. And exercising definitely not only changes your body, but it also helps with your mental health and your attitude, as well as your overall mood in life. But remember that healthy is an outfit that looks different on everybody.
That is such a good quote. Healthy
Quote
is
of
an
the day.
outfit. Exactly.
Quote of the
Healthy
day.
is an outfit that looks different on everybody. And very shortly, Kyun, any last thoughts?
Look, looking good on the outside is very important, but I think the inner beauty is a little more important because it attracts more people in a different way. So, looks is very important, but it only lasts for a certain time, but the inner beauty lasts forever. So, guys, let's take more care about the inner beauty.
Right. And if I'd like to share a few hacks I've learned myself, first, love yourself. Compliment any small effort to make yourself healthier and take small steps one at a time. At the end of the day, being happy makes you healthier. Now, we'll be here every day from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Korea time, bringing you the topics that young people are talking about. Special thanks to Chidzi.
Thank you.
And Park Ki-hoon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. We are
News Generation.